Hello. Welcome back for another yoga flow with Chrissy. Let's go ahead and grab two blocks, a yoga strap, possibly a foam roller, and as always, our myofascial balls. If you don't have those, two tennis balls will work just fine. And we're going to go ahead and get started with one of our blocks, taking the block on the lowest level. You could also do it mid, but I personally prefer lowest. You're going to place it right in between the shoulder blades. And then as you lie back, you can either move the block up or down to get it nice and comfy. Let the head fall back. And if it doesn't feel good, you can always take your second block, either on mid or lowest level, and just give a little extra support so that you're nice and comfortable. Allow your legs to fall wherever it feels good, either extended out or like I am here in butterfly. Allow the arms to just rest onto the surface underneath you and take just a few moments here as you close your eyes and allow yourself to drop in. Starting to just tune into your natural breath, feeling that rise and fall of the belly. Whenever you feel called to or ready, you can start to deepen your breath, moving into your Ujjayi pranayama. Inhaling in through the nose and exhaling through the nose, starting to relax the jaw. Allow the tongue to fall to the bottom of the mouth. If it feels, whenever you feel called to, start to bring some movement into your fingertips, maybe a nice stretch overhead, so that you can slowly come off of the block or blocks and bring one hand to your heart and one hand to your belly. Your legs can stay as is, or you can walk your feet out a little bit wider, like the width of the mat, and maybe knock the knees in. Nice little support to the low back and spine. Drawing your hands to your third eye or heart space and call in your intention. Just start to windshield wiper the knees from side to side. Releasing the low back and the hips, and then ground down through the feet and lift the hips up and just let them sway from side to side like a little hammock. And then we'll let the hips fall to the left as you allow the knees to fall to the right, switching your gaze for a nice little gentle belly twist here. Breathing in and breathing out. I'm just slowly starting to introduce movement into the body and using this time as a time for exploration. We'll go ahead and go to the other side. So maybe again, windshield wiper the knees or the hips a little bit from side to side, letting them fall to the right, and then knees will fall to the left and gaze to the right. Breath by breath, just connecting to the body as it is now, hugging the knees into the chest. And you can either rock and roll, come to a seat, or maybe roll over to one side or the other, and then eventually come up. And we'll take it to a tabletop position. So bringing your hands underneath your shoulders, knees underneath the hips, taking a few moments to settle in. And then we'll move through a few rounds of cat-cow. Inhale and exhale into cat. Inhale, feel the tailbone lift, belly draws down, gaze up. Exhaling and rounding. Good. And one more inhale. Exhale, feel that beautiful stretch through the spine. Come back to that neutral position. Maybe roll one wrist around and then roll the other. And then we're just going to come into a kneeling position, maybe dragging your fingertips up the arches of your feet. That's waking up the fascia there a little bit. And then close the eyes, bring the arms overhead. Inhale, exhale. We're going to take a gentle twist to the right. So left hand will find the right knee, right hand either back pocket or opposite hip or heel. And then take your gaze over that left shoulder. Coming through, inhale, arms reach overhead, and we'll take it to the other side. Few breaths here, and then looking over that right shoulder, keeping the twist. Inhale, bring the arms overhead. Maybe pause, exhale, let the hands come in front of you, chin to the chest like another little cat spine. And then we'll come back to that tabletop. Lift the hips up and back to your downward facing dog. So just take a few moments here, either embrace stillness or bring in some organic movement. Once again, becoming curious and exploring what's going on, all the senses of the body as you start to tune in and connect more and more. On the inhale, lift those heels way forward to your plank pose. And pause here for a moment as you exhale, melt back to turbo dog. Inhale, wave forward, plank. Exhale, back to turbo dog. One more inhale, pull forward. Exhale, back. Inhale forward, this time Ashtangasana. Drop the knees, chest, and chin to the earth. The elbows hugging towards the sideline. Then let the hips sway to the right. Back to center, let the hips sway to the left. Back to center, inhale, lower all the way down to the belly. And just take a moment, windshield wiper those knees from side to side. And then release the tops of the feet to the earth. Inhale up for cobra. Exhale down. Maybe inhale, use your hands to lift up a little bit higher. Drop the shoulders down and away from the ears. Exhale, melt the heart back down to the earth. And once again, inhale, rise. And exhale, melt back down. So you're going to go ahead and bend that right heel to glute, bending into that right knee. Option to grab a strap and maybe take it around the top of the foot if you can't quite find that hand to foot bind. But just embracing a quad stretch here. And then release the bind, let that left hand come out to the side, roll over to the left. So you're planting that right foot to the earth. Just embrace that nice stretch through that left shoulder, or you can lift and lower that right thigh bone a few times, doing a little internal and external rotation. Maybe straighten and bend the leg a few times. Remember, these are just options. Or just enjoy a nice stretch, keeping the leg lifted. Maybe you find that hand to big toe bind. And slowly unwind, coming back to the belly. And then we'll go right over to the other side. Come into that quad stretch, left hand to foot, or find the strap. Not here for too long, but feel the hip bones root into the earth, deepening the sensation to the top of that left thigh. And then release the bind, extend that right arm out, and we'll roll over to the right side of the body. So now the left knee is reaching up towards the sky. And again, little internal, external hip mobility here if that feels good. Just play around. Always giving yourself the time to explore and remembering that not every side is equal, right? So take the time and explore. Gift yourself what feels good from side to side, top to bottom, front to back. And slowly release. We'll come back to the belly, hands under the shoulders, and press back to Balasana, child's pose. Pardon me as I take a moment and fix my hair, but stay in child's pose, sinking the hips back towards those heels and extending those fingertips long towards the top of the mat. Or take a nice little tricep stretch here, bending the elbows, bringing the hands into the prayer position. Breathing in, breathing out, the sense of grounding, connecting. And then when you're ready, rise back up to your tabletop position, lifting the knees about an inch or two off of the earth, just starting to tap into our core, building some of that inner heat before making our way back to downward facing dog. Gripping the earth with the fingertip pads, and slowly walk your feet in or your hands back just a smidge to shorten your down dog. Taking that left hand outside of that right leg wherever feels accessible, and look up and underneath that right arm. And then we'll switch sides, just a nice little gentle twist here. Taking that right hand anywhere outside of the left leg, and then eventually finding back to down dog. And then we'll inhale once again. Walk your feet up to the top of the mat, footprint by footprint. As you arrive, we'll set up for Uttanasana, forward fold. So we take a halfway lift first and then exhale, deepen. And then inhale, we rise. Exhale, bring your hands to your heart space. A moment of pause here. And then we're going to extend the hands back. Take your right hand to your left wrist and extend the arms out as you drop your right ear down towards your shoulder. And just embrace this nice stretch to the left side of the neck here. While your feet firmly root to the earth, inhale, we'll switch sides. Head comes up first, and then take that opposite bind of the hand, left wrist to right hand. And then inhale, release, reach the arms overhead. Exhale, bow forward back to your forward fold. Halfway lift, inhale. Exhale, sweep that left leg all the way back. Low Anjane, drop the knee down. Inhale, rise. Maybe hands reach overhead, maybe gaze up. Exhale, lower the hands down, shift the hips back. Option to take your hands to blocks for a little hamstring stretch. So a little take on Surya Namaskar C. Inhale, pour the weight forward once again. Remove the block, step it back to plank. Optional vinyasa, drop the knees if you need to. Chaturanga. And then inhale, up dog. Exhale, down dog. Inhale, left leg sweeps. Exhale, knee to nose. Step it all the way through and then drop the back right knee down. Point the toes. Inhale, rise. Option to gaze up and offer your heart. Exhale, lower the hands down, shift the hips back. Once again, half runner's lunge. Grab your blocks if you need. A few moments, a few breaths here. Heart is reaching towards those toes. Inhale, bend back into that front knee and then step that right foot up to meet your left inhale. Exhale, deepen your fold. Inhale, rise. Bringing the arms overhead, maybe gaze up. Exhale, bring it to your heart space. Second round here, inhale, sweeping the arms out and up. Exhale all the way down as you fold within. Inhale, halfway lift. This time, step your right leg all the way back. Drop the knee down. Inhale, lift and stack the spine. This time, steeple the pointer fingertips. Exhale, up and over to the left. Circle the fingertips forward, maybe chin to chest, and then exhale, up and over to the right. Inhale, stack the spine. Exhale, lower the hands down, tuck the toes, and step it back to plank or one leg plank and finish your vinyasa. We'll mirror that on the other side. Inhale, right leg sweeps to the ceiling. Exhale, knee to nose. Float it through. Drop the knee down. Inhale, lift and stack. Steeple the hands overhead. Inhale, up and over to the right. Pull the body forward, fingertips forward like a little half circle, up and over to the left. And then back to center. Lower the hands down, tuck the toes. This time, left foot up to meet the right. And fold within. Inhale, rise. Sip in a little bit more. Exhale to heart. Inhale here. And exhale. Inhale, lift up, halfway lift. Walk your feet to touch. Exhale, Utkatasana, chair pose. So you can, everybody loves chair, doesn't they? You can either keep your arms lifting overhead. As you sit down, you can also bring them to your heart space or reach them forward, depending on how your shoulders feel today. But pull the navel in and then exhale, release, let it go. Halfway lift, inhale, take another vinyasa. Exhaling through chaturanga, up dog for your inhale, and exhale, down dog. Take a few breaths here, feeling the earth underneath you. A moment of pause. As you inhale, sweep that right leg up to the ceiling. Exhale, knee to nose. Drop the shin bone to hover and then lift it back up and then sweep it up, three-legged dog. Two more like that. Exhale, knee to chest. Drop down, in, sweep it up and back. And exhale in, drop to hover, pull it back in. And then look in between the hands, float the foot through, keeping the left hand down, twisted dragon. Right arm sweeps to the sky. And then we'll move to warrior two. Spiral the back heel down, windmill those arms open, and the arms come out to the sides. A nice deep bend into that right knee, looking down past those right fingertips, and then flipping through that right palm. Exhale, add your exalt. Inhale, lift, and take it into archer. So turn the left thigh out, flexing into those right toes. So both legs are in an external rotation. And then take it back to your warrior two. Inhale one more time, exalt. And then extended side angle. Right elbow will come to the thigh, inside or outside. Maybe let that hand float to the block as I'm doing here. Right arm can be to sky, bicep to ear, or maybe a half or full bind. Feel the earth underneath you. Maybe a smile to your face. Appreciate the challenge that lies here. When you're ready, release the bind of the arm. Lifting back to your warrior two, just as a transition, windmill the hands down. And then inhale, we'll take 3 lunge pulses here and exhale, straighten through the legs. Inhale, bend into that right knee. Exhale, melt back. Like a wave, inhale, rolling forward. Exhaling back, pause. Option to flex those left toes. Maybe take that left hand to a block or floor, an option to add a twist or just remain in that hamstring stretch. And then when you're ready, moving through another round of vinyasa or just step back, down dog or child's pose. Keeping things flowing here, moving in and out with the breath. And then we'll take that left leg to the ceiling as you inhale. Exhale, knee to chest, rounded plank. Drop it down to hover and then lift it up and back. Exhale, draw it in, drop to hover, pull it in, sweep it up and back. And one more time, in, down to hover, lift it up this time, float it in between the hands, keeping the right hand down, twisted dragon lunge, left arm sweeps to the sky. Maybe gaze up past those fingertips. And then exhale, lower down, spiral the back heel down, windmill those arms open and settle into Virabhadrasana 2. Making sure the knee is pointing to the left and maybe more to the pinky toe. And then add your exalt, breathing into the left side body. Back to warrior two. Inhale, exhale, archer pose. Inhale, back to warrior two. Let's add one more exalt. Once again, breathing space into the left side. And then exhale, settle into your extended side angle. Left elbow with float in front. Really ask yourself, would it feel better to use a block under that left hand and move into the expression that feels called to you on this side? Dropping the shoulders down and away from the ears. And once again, release the grip. We'll lift back to our warrior two. Exhale, windmill the hands down. And inhale, taking those 3 lunge pulses. Option to take the blocks underneath your hands for a little added height. Inhale and exhale, melt back. Inhale, pour forward. Exhale, back and hold. Maybe shift back to that back heel, flexing those left toes, and opt to sweep that left arm to the sky. Just another variation here. Lower back down to the fold, and then optional vinyasa. If that doesn't feel called, always down dog or child's pose. Settle back in, making sure that your weight's into the fingertip pads and not into your wrist, and then walk your hands back to meet your feet. Halfway lift, inhale. Taking a 2-finger peace grip hold and exhale of those big toes. Exhale, melt down, forward fold. Keeping a soft or generous bend to those knees as the head hangs nice and heavy and you shift your weight forward to the balls of the feet. Release the hands and then slowly use that next inhale to come all the way back up. Arms reach overhead. Exhale, bring them to your heart space. Embracing the head above your heart, step that right foot forward, hands to your heart space, and we'll move through a warrior 3. That left leg is either flexed or pointed, option for your hands to blocks or to the floor, or keep them to your heart. We'll inhale, lift, pull that left thigh bone in, sweep it forward, step it forward, and then find weight onto that left foot as you lift that right leg, warrior 3 on the opposite side. Nice and parallel to the earth. Inhale, lift, and step that right foot to meet your left. Hands come by your sides. Moment to feel both feet to the earth. Draw the navel in, lengthen the tailbone, and then slide that left thigh up and in, coming into half wind relieving pose. We'll move into tree pose here. Left leg is lifted, taking that left leg wherever it feels good, to the inner calf, above the knee, into the groin, or half lotus pose. Once you find your positioning and grip and balance, arms can reach overhead. Maybe you sway the arm. Finding where your challenge lies, you can also try to gaze up. Changing your drishti and gaze challenges your balance. We'll pull back to your heart space. And then we'll unwind, extend the leg back, and then we'll move back into a warrior 2 once again. Take your inhale, extend, finding that exalted warrior option for a half bind, left hand around the hip. Inhale to lift, and we'll take high or low skandasana. So bending into that left knee as you straighten the right leg, your hands can either come out like down dog or slowly lower down to low skandasana, feeling an external rotation and hands to heart. A few moments to breathe here. And then we'll move into a wide leg forward fold. Halfway lift, inhale, exhale, deepen your fold. You can stay in stillness. You can wiggle into the hips a little bit or offer a little sway. And we will inhale, come back to center, hands to hips, and come all the way up to stand. Coming into a crescent lunge at the top of the mat. So bending into that right knee, square the shoulders, square the hips. As the arms reach overhead, pull the navel in so we support or strengthen the core, activate the core, and support the back, maybe a soft bend to the back knee. And then we'll come back to that half wind relieving pose, sliding the left thigh up and in. Keeping your right hand on the shin, sweep that left arm up and reach it back behind you, a half dancing Shiva. Inhale, left arm comes, and exhale, Digasana. Left leg reaches back, arms reach back, bend into the knee. We'll do that a few more times. Pull the left thigh up and in, circle that left arm back as you twist to the back. Inhale here into Digasana. Left leg sweeps back, heart pulls forward. One more. Inhale, take that twist. Exhale through, reach the arm bones back, heart pulls forward, pull, pause. Left hand to floor or to block. Right hand to hip and power it up as we start to move into a revolved half moon. Start to take a twist, right elbow or right shoulder opens up. You can take your hand to your shoulder or right arm reaches to the sky. I love a block here because it helps to lift the heart. And I love my hand to my shoulder. It feels more accessible than the extension. Slowly unwind, moving in through a standing split. And then we'll take some curtsies. Exhale, bend into the knees. Inhale, extend. Exhale, curtsy that left knee behind you. Inhale, open. Exhale, this time we'll lower all the way down to a seat. Inhale, arms will reach, taking a nice little gentle twist to the right, staying upright over the pelvic bowl. Taking a little counter. Now take twist to the left. Inhale, we'll come back to center. Just take a moment, pause, shift forward, a nice little hip stretch, leaning the heart forward, using your body as a little extra weight, and maybe sway. Inhale, rise. Unwind that top right leg. So we're going to come back into a half moon. So right foot stays down, right hand can come to that block or floor, or you can look no hands. Weight into that right leg. Use your balance and the power of that right leg to lift up into that half moon. Right hand can stay down, block, floor, or hovering as that left arm extends to the ceiling and that left leg stays nice and strong. We'll start to square off those shoulders and then square the hips, lower the foot down, wiggle the hips out, and then we'll exhale, sit down into chair pose. Inhale, exhale, start to alternate, lifting one thigh bone at a time, going from side to side, a pumping faster movement here. Down, up, down, up. About 8 of these. Moving with your breath. The inhale sits down, the exhale lifts. Good. And then sit back down to your chair. Pause. Exhale, fold it forward. Inhale, halfway lift. Option to step back, take a vinyasa or down dog or child's pose. Take a moment. The heart rate may be up and elevated a little bit. So take a few deeper breaths, focusing on your exhale. And then slowly walk your hands back to meet your feet. Halfway lift, inhale. Exhale deep. Inhale to rise, coming all the way up, lifting the head above the heart. Exhale to heart space. This time, stepping that left foot forward, we'll move into that warrior 3. Heart pulling forward, and then inhale, rise, step that right foot forward, and then lift the left leg as the heart pulls forward, warrior 3. Inhale, come all the way up. Left foot meets the right, and then sit down into a nice chair pose, lifting up and pulling that right thigh bone up with you, half wind, to set yourself up for your tree pose. So once again, right foot either inner ankle or calf, thigh, groin, or half lotus pose. Hands to heart, let yourself find that moment of grounding and gripping the earth with that left foot to find stability. When you find that, reaching the arms overhead, and same thing, either just embrace stillness or maybe sway out those tree branches. Maybe gaze up, just embrace change, challenge, and growth. Bringing your hands back to heart space. And then extend the leg straight on out, sweeping it back behind you as we step back to our warrior 2. Settling in now with the left leg forward, arms right out of those shoulders. Inhale, add that exalt. Optional half bind. Inhale to lift and take it into that high or low skandasana, bending into that right knee, trying to mirror what you did on the other side, but recognizing that you don't need to. Few moments, breathing in and breathing out. The next thing, we'll find that wide leg forward again. Hello. Inhale, shifting your weight forward to the balls of the feet so the hips come in alignment with your ankles. Embracing the head below the heart, all of that fresh blood and oxygen making its way down. And inhale, wiggle out those hips, maybe sway before coming all the way up. And then we're going to find crescent lunge. Inhale, back to the top of the mat. Back heel lifts, pull the belly in. Really start with a strong core. And then we'll start to find balance on that left leg. Pull the right thigh up and in. Left hand stays on the shin. Right arm's going to sweep up and back, taking a little twist, maybe gaze past those right fingertips. Inhale, Digasana. Arms reach back, heart pulls forward. Right leg stays lifted. Inhale, pull it back into that half dancing Shiva. Right arm back. Lift and back to balance, Digasana. One more. Inhale and exhale. Hold it here. Setting up for that revolved half moon. Right hand block our floor, straightening through that left leg, nice neutral hips and pelvis. Then start to twist that left shoulder open. Hand can stay to the hip or shoulder, or maybe you extend it to the ceiling, but trying to make sure that that arm bone stays in alignment with the shoulder. And the hips stay nice and neutral, and that right leg, lifted right leg, is active. When you're ready, you're going to slowly square off and curtsy to reset the spine 3 times. Exhale, curtsy everything in. Inhale, elongate. And on that third one, exhale, sit all the way down. We'll take that gentle twist. Inhale, twisting to the left, twisting from the rib cage and not the low back. Inhale, come to center, and then just take that counter twist to the right. Fresh blood and oxygen come to the spine. We're going to move and hinge forward. And then we'll slowly move into that half moon. Weight into that left leg, and then left hand to block our floor as you now open and stack that right side with or without those hands. Stacking the right side, right arm to sky now. So this is a much different experience than the revolved half moon. Half moon, open hips, stacked hips. Good. And then exhale, lower the hand down, step that right foot to meet the left, wiggle the hips to reset, and then exhale back into your Utkatasana chair pose, and then back to those pumping. As you sit down, pull one of your thigh bones up with you. Sit down as deep and pull up as high as you can. Good. The faster, the more we're getting into the heart rate, the more we're starting to create that pumping action, not only within the breath, but the heart. Then sit down to chair and then fold it forward. And when you're ready, take your vinyasa, stepping back, plank, chaturanga, up dog, and then down dog. And then we'll drop down to the knees. Just come down to a kneeling or seated position, head above the heart, closing the eyes, letting the hands rest on top of your lap. And just take a few breaths here with an emphasis on a longer, fuller exhalation. Slowing things down. Once again, softening the jaw, shoulders. Breathing into the space of the body. Breathing into this moment here. So the little faster pace of a practice and flow. So we take the time to slow it down. Let's go ahead and take, as we release down to our mats, out to our backs, take one of your blocks coming into a restorative bridge pose. So either on the lowest or mid-level, maybe on the highest if that feels good to you, resting it underneath the sacrum. And then just kind of let your body rest there, and lots of options. You can keep your legs where they're at, just soles of the feet to the earth. You can lift one or both feet to the ceiling. Or maybe extend one leg straight and the other leg straight, a nice, really deep stretch through the front of the hip flexors. Just take a few moments once again to breathe and embrace the stillness, whatever expression you choose. To reset the pelvis, to go inward, slowing things down. Slowly bring the feet back to the earth. Lift your hips up off of the block, remove the block, and just maybe let those hips sway from side to side. And then glance those hips back down. Let the knees, just like we did in the beginning, fall to the left. Switch your gaze to the right. Noticing how different this may feel now after the practice. Let the knees come back to center. Let them fall to the right. Switch your gaze to the left, keeping both shoulders grounded. Meeting yourself where you are right here, right now. And inhale back to center. And then just extend your legs out nice and long. I'm going to take a Shavasana with both of my blocks resting underneath the knee, giving a little extra support to my low back. But find whatever position feels comfortable, moving the shoulder blades out from underneath you and taking up the room and the space that you deserve. Let the eyes close. Allow yourself to settle in. As you enter into your Shavasana, allowing your breath to become effortless, mind to be as clear as possible, and the body to welcome the stillness. Welcome to your Shavasana. And ready to slowly start to bring movement in. Maybe hug the knees into the chest or extend the arms nice and long. Just doing whatever organically feels good. If you need a little extra time, you can always pause whenever you're ready. You're rolling over to one side or the other, and eventually coming into a comfortable position. Keeping the eyes closed, bringing your thumbs to your third eye, letting your thoughts be clear, sliding your thumbs to your lips, letting the words you speak be of peace, and bringing your hands to your heart space. That you do things all in love, from my heart to yours. Namaste. Until next time, one love.